Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. And this is Atlanta, y'all, okay? Season 3, Episode 9. Rich Wigga, poor Wigga, okay? Donald Glover out here playing with our minds, y'all. This episode was giving me Twilight Zone meets Imitation of Life, right? Imitation of Life meets Twilight Zone. Because we started out this episode as a black and white episode, right? It's a white boy, or what we look to see and think is a white boy, playing a game in his room. They talking, crap to each other while they playing the game online, as gamers do. And he starts getting mad and basically starts using the N-word. And they like, where you live, what's your address? And he giving them, part of the address and basically telling them F you. And then proceeds to make gorilla sounds and was like, go eat this banana. So I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell going on here, right? Not feeling you. So then we see him go to sleep, but then he wakes up and he's riding in the car with his dad. And his dad is basically saying, actually we hear this, news story about a guy getting shot by police, right, in this Lenox Mall. And so he's like, this is horrible, stuff like this is always happening, whatever have you. And he was like, this is why, the father's saying this to him. This is why I always tell you to be careful and watch who you have as friends and things of that nature. And he's like, well, I wouldn't have that problem. And his father's basically saying to him, like, you could fool those people up at your school, okay? But I know you black, all right? And I know where you get your nose from. So you're not fooling nobody over here on this side. And when it comes down to it, y'all know where you get that nose from, and it ain't from your mama. And so he was like, one day you're going to learn what it means to be black in America. And Aaron is basically telling him, well, if you freeze, then you wouldn't have that problem. And he was like, see, this is why I wish you would get pulled over sometime just so you could see what it really is like. And he said, well, if you would loan me the car sometimes, then maybe I would be able to see. He's like, boy, I ain't loaning you my car so you could crash it. Then how the hell would I get to work? Then he's telling him about, well, what if you bought me a new one? He was like, you must be got me confused with your white friends, okay? I ain't got no money to buy you no damn car. He was like, boy, you going to the Golden Corral when you graduate, and that's going to be that. He's talking to him about saving money and different stuff like that because, he wants to get into this college. And his father's telling him he's not taking no loans and he's not co-signing anything. So he was like, if you want to get in that school, you're going to have to figure it out, and didn't I tell you to save? So he says that he has been able to save like $4,000. So he was like, see, that ain't bad. Okay. He was like, Dad, ISC is basically $50,000 a year. And so his father was like, well, damn, that's too bad. You ain't getting in that school. Look like you won't be going to that school. And he's basically just laughing at him. So we then have him get to school. And, the father's telling him he loves him and stuff like that. And he's just trying to hurry up and get in. He's like, yeah, whatever, I know. So when he get in, of course, we see he has white friends. He has this white girlfriend. He is just basically passing, right? We know that now. And they say that there's about to be, something going on in the auditorium that they all got to report there. And they like, that's weird. And so when they go and report into the auditorium, all right, who should freaking come walking out after they do this introduction? Okay, everybody's just laughing and, in their own world as far as the students, because they just figure it's free time from out the class. You know how that goes. And they come out and say they have a special guest speaker there today. And who should it be, okay, other than daggone Kevin Samuels, which really was eerie, being as though he just, passed away last week. And that's all I'll say on that. But it was him, and then was also George Wallace. And so we hearing, I think it was Loose Ends started playing, and he come walking out, and he's giving this speech saying how, he went to this school and how he's going to change the name of the school. They're not going to have it as some slave owner anymore. They're going to have it as one of the richest, men in America. And he's saying how he want to donate like $1 million to the school and to fixing up things in the school and all of that. And then he proceeds to tell them that he's going to be paying all the tuition of all of the graduates that's going to college, right? He would be paying their tuition. And so, of course, this is what Aaron was just, basically upset about in the car with his father, the fact that he didn't have money to go to college. So this will solve his problem perfectly, right? And you have the whole auditorium erupt. But baby, he added in black, okay? Who's black? I'm going to pay the tuition for those who are black, okay? BLACK. And so once he says that, all the black kids start cheering and the white kids is looking around like, wait, huh? He can't do that. What's going on here? So, of course, we can see where this is going, right? Now that you can be black to get in. And so, you have Aaron hanging outside in front of the school with his peers, okay? Or so they're supposed to be. And you're hearing them say, black people don't have to pay for nothing. They always get all this free stuff. They go to school for free. His girlfriend want to talk about how she heard somebody, a friend of hers, dating this guy, and that he basically went to school and ended up dropping out, didn't finish anyway, even though it was free, because he then got into the NBA. And they like, yeah, that always happens to them. So they was like, isn't this some type of discrimination? And so he basically starts to seem like he's getting uncomfortable with the conversation and says that he's going in to talk to the counselor about a FISA loan, and he'll see them later. We then see some white guys in the hallway doing some ooh doo-doo, okay, trying to sing Shy, genifying Shy, okay. And we seeing, all the different students hanging out in the hallway, whatever have you. And so he goes, and it's like this Indian guy that's standing there that says, we don't fit into any category either, right? They don't want to see us either. And then you see Aaron looking at the door and saying auditions are in progress. And so he was like, yeah, he's actually picking people that's black. It's crazy, right? He was like, everyone should have a shot. It shouldn't be based on your projects. And he's saying how he did research on him or whatever, and that, he only wants to take people that have certain discussions and know certain things and all of this kind of stuff or whatever. So he was like, well, maybe you could go. And the door opens, the student come out laughing, talking about, all right, now I'm gonna mess with y'all later then. And so all of a sudden we hear Redbone, you bring your behind up in here, and then Aaron is looking and he's like, me, and they like, yeah, you. And so he go in there and they like, basically saying to him, yeah, we know you black, because it's funny, mind you, he's trying to play it off on the one hand and pass with his white friends, but on the other hand, he don't mind trying to be black to get into this college. And so they start asking him questions like, name 6 things that go in Hennessy, all right? Then they was like, first he said Coke, and then he just started naming random things, and they was like, all right, you trying to just think of anything that come to your mind, you don't know. And then they asked him what happened with the boy that got shot in Lennox, and he's like, oh yeah, I heard about him. That was a traffic stop or whatever. I was with my, dad in the car, and yeah, that was crazy. And they said, no, you wasn't supposed to say that, okay? When we said what happened to the boy in the Nixon Mall, you were supposed to basically be like, damn shame, okay? So then they start asking him, talking about, let's get down to the nitty gritty. That was just a warm up. They talking about how long you supposed to let chicken sit on the stove, who you want, Bobby and Whitney or Will and Jada. Then they like, basically, what was the other one? Why did the 5 RBs broke up? Is it your mama or your mother? And, different questions that's just random ass questions that's like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? 227 or amen. Holy Spirit or Holy Ghost, mustard or mayonnaise, and things of that nature, right? They got him dancing. They got him jumping around. They telling him to go to the blackboard and write some stuff with this pencil. They asking him orange or grape Kool-Aid. Oh man, you name it, they was freaking doing it. And so when they get to the end of the questions, they basically like, no, you are not black, okay? They was like, if you was black, you would have known how to answer these questions. So you are not black, you are white. And then they like, well, off-white, And he says that, his dad is black. Like I said, now he all ready to claim black people. And they was like, well, then tell your daddy to bring his behind in here, and we'll pay for him to go to college. So now he's upset because he didn't get that. You know, he gets home, he's complaining about it to his father, and his father's basically letting him know, you know, this is what I've been trying to tell you. Sometimes things is not going to always go your way. A lot of times things is not going to go your way. You're not going to be able to get what you want. And he's laughing about it, and he's telling his father, like, this is not funny. You know, the same time he looks on social media and sees that his supposed girlfriend liked another guy's post, and he's like, well, what are you doing liking his post? And I think it was a black guy on top of that. And she was like, well, it was nothing, I just was liking it. He was like, well, what if I was, you know, going to ASC and you see me liking some other girl post? You would be highly jealous. She was like, well, no, I wouldn't, because I already know you're not going to ASC. And she essentially told him, it's time for us to break up, okay? It's not working for you. You don't have the money. You won't be going anywhere. So one minute he's sitting there playing his game. Next minute he getting up looking damn online at how you build a damn flamethrower. Then he actually goes and builds it and is walking outside his house into the street. And I'm like, okay, where the hell is this fool going now? Don't tell me he gonna try to kill a whole bunch of people because he mad, you know, about his girlfriend and about what happened at the school. But when he gets there, it's somebody else already there to done beat him there that got a better high-tech, okay, gadget that he trying to use to blow up the daggone school. He got the same thing in mind, right? Or set the school on fire. And so basically he was like, you know, what's wrong? What are you doing here? He was like, they told you you're not black too. And the guy basically was like, yeah, he's telling me that I'm Nigerian or whatever, so I'm not black. And so here go Aaron. Well, technically, yeah, he do got a point, because at least you know where you come from and you don't originate from here and you could trace back your roots and this, that, and the third. And he was like, huh, okay, and I'm still black. He was like, I'm blacker than you. And so one minute they talking about, you know, burning the school down. The next minute they like, well, shit, I could burn you down. And the guy's like, well, how you gonna do that? What you gonna do with that little flimsy ass, you know, gadget that you call yourself putting together, whatever the case may be. And so Aaron is like, you know what? He was like, you know, what if I burn you first? He was like, oh, wait, it's too late. And he was like, oh, was that supposed to be funny? You know, was that supposed to be a dark skin joke? And Aaron just standing there looking cocky. Baby homeboy start blowing that daggone fire blowtorch at him, and he basically burned up the whole front of the school where the sign was at. He's burning up different stuff, you know, around the side of the school. He's chasing after Aaron at this point. He running scared, you know. He ain't trying to shoot back with his little flame blower that he made. He's just running and trying to get away from him or whatever the case may be. And the other kid is chasing after him. Excuse me. And at one point, you know, Aaron is basically so scared hearing the footsteps coming near him that, you know, and then he, like, you know, did shoot back at him or whatever and continued to run. And so they just, basically, he chasing him all around this daggone school. And, you know, when he's standing there, he's panting or whatever the case may be and scared. All of a sudden, he's hearing liquid, you know, trickling, and it's literally like he was peeing on himself. And then the guy, you know, basically still got to set fire to his feet and to some other things. At this point, he done came out of his shoes and he continues to run. And so the other guy's just laughing or whatever. And Aaron is just trying to hurry up and run his ass out of there. You know, now he's trying to take the flamethrower off of him and he's trying to get away. And so when he gets to the edge of the opening, I think it was at the side of the building, the guy was actually on top looking down from the roof. And he was like, this is where all the black kids eat. And when he was getting ready to try to, you know, shoot the flamethrower again, we hear a shot come out and knock his ass down, and it's basically the police, and they're like freezing. So of course Aaron puts his arms up and he just trying to stand there, and I'm pretty sure he wants to play white again so that way he don't have to you know, being involved in the police shooting. And so in the mix of this, you know, they bringing the guy, the boy, he was shot in the shoulder or whatever, and they bringing him out, putting him in the ambulance. And Kevin Samuels basically comes running out like, look at my school, look at the sign. And so then he gonna come up to the boy and be like, oh, you was trying to burn down the school because I said you wasn't black. And he was like, yeah. So he basically gave them money, okay, because he was like, take him to White Grady. And they was like, you mean Emory? He was like, no, I mean White Grady, okay, I want him to survive. And he was like, I'm gonna pay all his medical bills, meaning if he would have went to the other hospital, he was a dead man, okay. And he tells him, here's your scholarship check, because if you got shot by the police, then you definitely black. And so now they're going to take care of his hospital bills, and they're going to take care of the daggone scholarship. You know, Aaron is just still sitting in the daggone cop car looking at this point to see like, well, damn, that's all it took for him to become black. And them to say they're going to pay everything all right. And so it looks like Aaron is getting, you know, a trip to jail. And so the next thing we know is like, what was it? I think it was a year later. Okay. 1 year later, we seeing Aaron. Aaron is all switched up now, honey. He got the fade going on now. He's sitting here brushing it down. You know, apparently he working in some kind of store. He got, you know, the urban look. He got the 2 earrings in his ear. Of course, he trying to talk. You know what I'm saying? Urban now, okay, and using ebonics and all of that kind of stuff. And he's trying to get his rap on, and at the same time trying to make this sell. And who should come walking in behind him but you know, the chick that he used to date in the high school. And so he's like, hold on a second. She like, Aaron, looking. And so then he's telling her, you know, tell them at the front to give me a discount. And he like, you still gonna text me, right? Basically, like I said, trying to hit on the one girl, send her to the register with the product she was coming from. And so then he turns around to the ex-girlfriend like, what's up? You know, what's going on? What's good? And so she's like, nothing. And she's just looking confused. And she's like, how are you? You know? And so he's like, I'm good. You know, everything is good. I'm chill. You know, he was like, how's ASC? And she was like, it's great. And so he was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. And she was like, how's here? Like, she ain't even know what to say. And he was like, it's all right, you know. He was like, it's all right. Same old shit, different day. You know how it goes. And it just was so funny to see Aaron standing there like that. And so basically, like I said, she's looking confused as hell, you know, speechless, kind of awkward, don't know what to say. So she was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to just, you know, all right, I'm going to leave you here, you know, good seeing you. And so here go Aaron talking about some, well, hey, and when she turned around, he's like, can I be honest with you? He was like, well, you know, I've never been attracted to you more in my life. And then going basically bite his lip. And she's chuckling. And then he's like, you know, turns to the camera and basically was like, and then we get loose ends again for the ending. That was basically the sum up of the episode, y'all. I guess the point was, we do know that some people will pass and they will want to be, you know, black when it's convenient for them and not black. And it also was showing, you know, how people will generalize things, and like, is there really any specific questions that you ask that every single black person is going to know or going to agree on? And also showing how we do have some people that would be like, oh, well, if you're African, you're not black, you're Jamaican, you're not black, you're this, you're not black, you're that, you're not black. So that to me was what I got from it, that it was showing all of those different aspects and arguments or whatever have you. And yeah, Atlanta is definitely original, and they are definitely mixing it up this season. But that's all I got on that one, y'all. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What you got out of it? All that good stuff. Let's discuss. All right, like, share, comment, subscribe. You know, hit those fire emojis in the comments. Let me know you stopped by, or give me a hey, a wave. All right. Until next time, Tulu.